Well, hello, everyone. Well, today we're here to talk about the University of Vedic Astrology, one of my accomplishments that I am so very, very proud of, because this really does spread the knowledge of Vedic astrology. And I've been doing this for quite a while. So what we're talking about today, Shrikala Ram, who is one of my graduates and tutors, and she is an amazing Vedic astrologer. She's here to help us understand how it all works, because so many people ask me, how does it work? How long does it take? All these questions that everyone is constantly asking me. We are going to put all the questions that you may want to know about in this video. And then we're going to have another video where you're going to be able to come on live and ask any questions that maybe you didn't get out of this video. But we want everything to be very clear so that you understand everything that this university offers, which is so many amazing, amazing things. The first thing I say that the University of Vedic Astrology offers is a community. I mean, there are people in every area of the world that are part of UVA. And we love bringing everyone together. We have live webinars every week. And on top of that, we have the lessons, which are pre-recorded videos that you can watch at your leisure at your own time. But the most important thing about the University of Vedic Astrology is once you join, it never expires. So this is like an amazing thing that once you join, you have a membership that you can be a part of, and you will be meeting like-minded people. This is an amazing aspect of this whole university. So let me start with how it begins. So there are 40 videos, and they're all pre-recorded. So everything's online. So you get to watch at your leisure, anytime, anywhere. Remember, it doesn't expire. If life gets in the way and you never got to take the time to watch the videos or take the test, you can do it at another time, a year later, if something is, gets in the way, such as that. But it's always there for you to go look at. Now, we have 40 videos. Right after you watch a video, then a test comes up. And on top of that, with you answering your test, you are assigned a live tutor. And your tutor is there to answer any questions you may have pertaining to the material. And there's no grades. So if you get something wrong, you just go back to the drawing board till you get it right. And once you finish one test, then you move on to the next video. And following that video is another test, which you are assisted with. We use the platform called Thinkific, where you can go on and watch the video and take the test and connect to your tutor to grade it. So there are 5 semesters, and there are 8 videos per semester. So five semesters with 8 videos equals 40 videos altogether. So after you finish all of your videos in testing, 40 of them, the next step is the 6th semester. So in the 6th semester, what you're going to do is you're going to prove what you have learned. So in other words, you're going to be given a chart, and you're going to answer the questions, such as we have a chart about how to predict marriage. So you're going to go into with this chart, and you're going to give us the time the marriage occurred within a 6-month period. So you'll be given a 10-year radius sometimes, and you're going to go in and say when this person got married within a 6-month radius. And if you get it wrong, you just go back to the drawing board till you get it right. So there's one on marriage, there's one on health and healing, how to find what could be wrong with a person health-wise in order to help them. The third one will be about finding money in a chart. How will money come to them and when, the timing. Remember, astrology is all about timing. And another one is going to be about career. What should this person do with their career? Now, these are real live people, they're charts that you're looking at. So this is something that has a right answer to it. What is their career? And when will the career opportunity happen? Then the next one that we have is for you to be able to counsel people, and plus remedial measures. How would you help someone if they're in a difficult situation? Another exercise that you will do is by using your own chart, you will figure out the best day for you to start a business. And after that, then you're going to have the last reading where you are going to be doing a reading for someone, a live person. I'm going to be there to guide you. It's a whole learning experience that you will be doing a live reading. And once you graduate, then you can become a tutor. You get to grade the test, because one thing I believe is by teaching, you learn the most. So by your becoming a tutor, you're going to learn volumes to help other people. Plus, yes, you get paid for being a tutor with UVA. And beyond that, then we set you up in business. We put you out there on our website for readings. Yes, you will get readings through us. And furthermore, most importantly, I want everyone to have their own platform of teaching themselves. Just like Shri has put together the most amazing 2-semester classes on Joni astrology. And she presents this to the world like about twice a year, or once a year at least, right, Shri? And
it was twice a year last year, but
okay.
This year we'll try to do twice a year, but yes, at least once a year.
Yes, and it is an amazing course. You will learn Joni astrology. She's got a book out on it. I encourage people to write. And another thing, I have a magazine, which is Joni Patry's Astrological Insights, or Astrology Insights. And we encourage all the students to participate in the research in this magazine. So we have a section in the magazine that's a research journal, and we want everyone to participate, begin writing articles for the magazine. And another thing, because this is such a community of people, we want everyone to come together at times in person. So I put on my own conferences, which is coming up here next year, where everyone can come together and actually meet in person. Because the other aspect of the university is that we have a group that all goes on to Telegram. And this is a big social event, but it's always to talk about astrology. So Telegram is how all the students come together and ask each other questions, share insights. It's a wonderful community. People are so connected, and you'll find people in your country, maybe even in your city, that are part of the University of Vedic Astrology. So that's just my little brief synopsis of how this all works. But remember, along with the pre-recorded videos, we have the live ones. So when I say we've got a brand new start date, I mean, essentially you could join the university at any time, because it's all self-paced. You don't have to come on when I say the start date starts. But the reason why I bring up a start date is people like to join in a group, and that means I'm going to be starting semester 1 for the first time, and everyone that's beginners comes on board during that time, because I'm going to start the live Zoom webinars where we all come together and talk. And yes, you can ask me questions, but in those live webinars, We love that we bring in current affairs, something that's happening in the world at that time, something like, you know, what's going on in politics, what's going on with the virus, what's going on with different countries, what's happening. And in semester 4, I present all of my predictions for the entire year in advance. And I show people all the transits and the aspects that I have calculated and why certain things are going to happen. But I teach you how to do it, because when you figure out all of the aspects of what the planets are forming in the next year, when you sit down to do a chart reading, you absolutely plug all of that into every chart that you read. And that's a true astrologer, to know where the planets are, to calculate them, and then to know with every reading, this is how you're going to make your predictions. So you see, it is a very holistic university where it covers everything from personal readings and what's in charts, to karma, to transits, to world predictions, and spirituality, finances, money, every aspect of our lives that astrology is about is what you're going to learn. And yes, I'm going to be live where you can ask me questions. I want to get to know all my students. I want to hear from them what their questions are, what they need. But going back to the whole premise of the first semester, so usually it will take, once again, it takes about 8 weeks per semester. So when you start in semester 1, I will start with the live video, and that's the start date, which we're going to share with you in just a minute. But I'll start with semester 1, and it'll alternate every week that I have the live webinar for each semester. So even though I'm starting semester 1, July 6th, 9:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, the alternate week, we are working in semester 4. So you see, it alternates, but every week I have a live webinar according to a certain semester that I started a while back. But just to make a long story short, that each semester takes 8 weeks. It takes about 1 year, if you follow along with the group, to graduate from the University of Vedic Astrology before you can become a tutor and all of the above things. So it takes about a year, because we do take a summer and a winter break. But everyone stays in connection and communicates on Telegram. It's really an amazing experience and community. But I wanted you to know how long each semester took. So what about this new start date? So we don't start that often. And whenever we do start, we also give a great discount for the price. Shree's going to tell you all about that in just a minute, and the timeline. And we're also going to share why we chose this date. Now, we don't start, like I said, all the time. This is like only once or twice a year that we start semester 1. So that's why it's a big deal, and we want everyone to come on board at the same time so that you can be part of the beginning semester 1. So you get to be part of every single one of the live webinars. And we also have different times. So half of the webinars we have for our Asian communities on the one side of the globe, and then we have the other half of the live webinar videos for the European crowd. And of course, in the United States, it varies the time. But we do take into account what area you're from, because we have students all over the world. So semester 1 is a big deal. It's starting. We're giving a discount right now. So pay attention. And I want Shree to share her screen. She's going to be showing you a lot of things, and she's going to show you how everything works by showing you Thinkific and how you get on and all the opportunities. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell everyone, that you will get a discount with Parashara's Light, which is the calculation program that we all use. And I show people how to use it in all of our live webinars. So everything's covered. If you think you're going to be left out in the dark and you're not going to know how to do something, no, we're going to take you, hold your hand, show you everything, explain how everything works, and we're gonna sit with you and teach you till you get it. So Shri, why don't we open up anything that I missed, please, be my guest and tell everyone what maybe they want to know that maybe I didn't cover. But we also want to show you the new start date, which is July 6th. 9:45 a.m. I'm in Dallas, so Central Standard Time. It is a magnificent chart. For those of you that are interested in choosing a date for things, we're going to show you why we choose this date. So Shri, it's all yours.
And Joni, you never miss anything. You know how thorough you are. So, yeah, but I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how this experience is as a student, because I've been there, I've experienced what this university has done for me. And one of the main things that I want to kind of really reinforce here is what Joni was talking about, communities, right? Because in the outside world, and I've worked in corporate, and you don't really find a lot of like-minded people to talk to about astrology or anything that's metaphysical. In fact, you need those groups of like-minded people. And that's one of the main things that I saw that this university had, which really attracted me to it, right? And about everything, I know there are a lot of courses, but this is a premier institution, because this course is not taught by just anybody, right? It's Joni Patry, and she's had more than 40 years experience in Vedic astrology. So she's sharing all of that information with us. And might I add, without holding anything back, like selflessly. Joni's so giving, everything that she teaches, she's like, oh, this is what the book says, but here's what my experience has told me, right? And that's invaluable. You can't find it anywhere else. And as a student, back in the day when the university first started in 2014, Joni? I'm trying to remember, 2013 or 2014. I've known you way before that. But when it started, and if you guys have any doubts about whether this is the right decision, I'm just telling you the thought process that I went through at that time and what really inspired me to join. Because the moment I joined, I had all these people that I could talk to about astrology who were knowledgeable. Not to mention, with Joni being, so knowledgeable in what she knows about Vedic astrology through her experience. You can't get that out of books. It's very hard. And everything that Joni teaches is, through, okay, I've done this reading for a client and this is what I've seen. That is invaluable, So let me just say that first. Second thing is it's completely self-paced, like Joni said. So I'm going to share my screen here. So let's do this, right? Let's first look at why we picked this date and time. And then I'm going to show you everything that the university website has, so you kind of get an idea about how to go through this course, okay? So let me share my screen. And here you go. Here's the start date of the university, July 6th, 2022, 9:45 a.m. And we have Dallas, Texas, because that's where Joni's located. And this is the chart for the day. And what do you see here? You've just seen Joni's July predictions, right? Every planet in its own sign of rulership, except for the sun and the moon. And that's what you're seeing here. That's one of the main reasons why we picked a date in this first week of July. So you can see Saturn's in Aquarius. You have Jupiter and Neptune in the 8th house of metaphysical studies, and Jupiter is in Pisces. Remember, when a planet is in its own sign of rulership, that's called Swakshetra. It's extremely strong there. And like I always tell my students, it's like the owner of the home is staying in his own home. So he knows where everything is, right? He's so comfortable there. So Mars is in Aries, sign of rulership. Venus in Taurus rules that sign. Mercury in Gemini, and of course, wherever Mercury is, Sun is not far away, right? Sun and Mercury kind of travel together. And we chose moon to be in Hasta. There is a reason why we chose moon in Hasta nakshatra, right? Hasta is ruled by the moon. It's very strong there. It's in the sign of Virgo, which is a detail-oriented sign. It's a great placement to study something new. And Joni, you want to add something more to this?
Well, did you mention that Jupiter is aspecting the moon very tightly on this at this time? Mm-hmm. I love the moon being Hasta. Hasta means to grasp information, and the moon is in Mercury's sign as well by being in Virgo. And I love Mercury being in Gemini. So this is like so powerful to have the planet of learning, education, and the mind all in the sign of Gemini, and it's in the 11th house of groups, friends, and organizations. So we're coming together to meet other people of like-mindedness. I love Venus in Taurus in the 10th house of work, career, and the public eye. This is beautiful. Venus in Taurus is soft, kind, loving, and very, very creative. Mars being in the 9th house of higher knowledge and quest with Rahu and Uranus. By the way, Uranus rules astrology. Mm-hmm. So I love that we've got this. I mean, this conjunction works well in this chart for what it's good for, not necessarily for world events.
And not to mention the 5th house is astrology, and the 9th being the 5th from the 5th, which, by the way, Joni is going to teach you in the first semester. Yes, you know, exactly. It is the higher octave of the house of astrology and the house of giving advice and learning and traveling. You know, when you become an astrologer, you travel to conferences. Right. You know, this is the muhurta chart for something new that you're starting. And also, Joni, the Venus that aspects moon too, right? So we have Jupiter's aspect on the moon and the Venus is aspecting the moon. So two benefics are aspecting it, which is beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And then we really worked, Shri helped me pick this time, we worked really hard to figure out what dasha that this needed to start under. Believe it or not, you got to, when you're choosing a date for events, you've got to look at what dasha you're going to begin in. So we chose this time because for the Vimshotri dasha system, it begins in moon Jupiter. And look at how the moon and Jupiter fully aspect each other almost exactly. And one more thing, I always try to make the moon where it's increasing in light. A waxing moon is better to begin anything. And so I love this chart.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And also from a Gemini standpoint, you have 3 or 4 different Raj Yogas in this chart. If you see, there's this aspect between the sun, the moon, the Mercury, and the Jupiter from a Gemini standpoint. So that is also getting satisfied, you know, because you have the Amatya Karaka, the Bratra Karaka, and the Putra Karaka, which is the 5th house indicator, right? Astrology, all aspecting each other. So that means a career out of astrology. So it's kind of rare to find a beautiful chart like this with a great starting dasha, like Joni said. So we just kind of wanted to give you an insight as to, you know, how we pick the date for the first class. Okay. All right. So I'm going to now share the university website. Just give me 1 second here. All right. Are you able to see this, Joni?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so this is the university website where you would typically go to sign up. So this university website is universityofvedicastrology.com. You will find the link below this video. And when you go to the website, you can see the enroll now right here. I want to talk a little bit about the pricing that Joni kind of touched on. So whenever we start the first semester for the very first time, right? So like Joni said, twice in a year, we start the first semester. We slash the prices, right? Because we want most number of people to have the ability to join the course. So that's why, you know, we immediately bring the prices down. You can see everything is $100 less here. But what is really, really important and which I want you to really pay attention to is if you go semester by semester, you buy each semester, it's $1,000 for a semester. That means by the time you get to the last semester, the 6th semester, you've paid around $6,500. But if you buy the whole thing, The complete certification, where my cursor is right now, you immediately save $1,000 right off the bat. That is very important, because trust me, you're thinking you want to do just the first semester. By the end of the first semester, you will definitely want to do the second semester, because this university is fun. The classes are fun, the live webinars are fun. It's almost like, you're coming to the live webinar and you hear about everything that's currently going on in the world. We're not talking about old events, right? It's current events. It's very interesting. So, and if you want to go semester by semester, you lose out on that $1,000 discount that you could get. And, sometimes people are like, it's a huge investment. I may not finish in this year. I may have to take a break. We all know that, right? Everybody has like 2 and 3 jobs. We know how busy you are. That's exactly the reason why Joni made the decision when she first started this university, that it's going to be a lifetime membership. Not a lot of other courses out there do that. They have an expiry, right? They say, okay, you have this for a year and then that's it. And then you need to pay again. But this is lifetime membership. We have students today who are joining the live webinars who were students back in 2014 and they've graduated, right? But they still come back because it's amazing. Every Wednesday we hear about these new charts, which we've never heard about before when Joni does her live webinars. So people come back. They're still coming back to all the webinars because they have access to everything. Okay, so that's something important that I wanted to take away from this. This is not, a 1-year course and that's it. No, you have full access to it because you're a part of the UVA family. You're a part of the community, right? We're not going to just let you go like that. We take care of you. Yeah. You have full access to everything.
And another thing I want to add to that is if you sign up for the entire university, let's say you already know Western astrology or you have some astrological knowledge or some Vedic knowledge. When you sign up for the whole university, let me just say one thing too. If you think you know everything, there's some stuff I promise you didn't know in the first semester. But more than that, you can participate in all of the live webinars because you see, you can only participate in the webinars of the semesters you've paid for. Right. So if you paid for semester 1, 2, or 3, then anytime I repeat any of those live Zoom webinars, you can come in and listen. But if you pay for the whole university, you are invited to every single one of the live webinars, regardless where you're taking a test.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll show you how that's handled too. But that's a good point, Joni, because when we do the live webinars, we have alternate weeks. So the first semester may be this week, next week may be the 4th semester, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to join every single live webinar, then you need to have access to all of them, because once you buy a semester is when you get access to that link to join that webinar. Right. So I think that's a very good point too. Mm-hmm. So now that's the sign up page. Now let me show you a little bit about the semesters. So if you click on semesters here, Joni touched on this a little bit, but just to give you a little more information, the first semester includes the basics, the foundational elements, right? I just simply love the way this course is laid out. Okay, a lot of courses don't do this. The way this is laid out is exactly what will help you learn it in the easiest way possible. So the first semester, sometimes people say, oh my gosh, this is so much, it's so overwhelming. The reason is that it is the foundation of the house that you're building. It's very important. You can't just immediately build the roof, right? You need a strong foundation. Mm-hmm. So we have the houses, the Bhavat Bhavam, that's what I was mentioning, the 5th from the 5th, right? Planets, signs, aspects, yogas, and a beautiful class on nakshatras. Every single time we do this class on nakshatras, it goes for 3 hours easy. Right, Joni? So much information.
Yeah.
Beautiful class on nakshatras. And this is all in the first semester. Then you get ready for the second semester, and we right away go, like the week we finish the first semester, the couple of weeks after that, we immediately start the second semester, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the retrogrades, the transits, the dashas, what we were talking about earlier in the chart, the Vamshotri dasha, the divisional charts, so important. And then you have eclipses. Oh my gosh, that's another beautiful class, because We've heard a lot about Rahu and Ketu and the eclipses, but the way Joni explains it through her experience and how events are really triggered by those eclipses is just phenomenal. And then you have the dispositors and the Kala Sarpa Yoga. Similarly, you go into the third semester. Now, do you see a trend building up here? It's like the building blocks up here. And then in the third semester, you're putting it together, right? So now you start seeing predictions. So people start getting a little frustrated in the first semester. When do I predict, right? I have a lot of my students asking me that. But trust me, you put these building blocks together in the third semester. It's beautiful. You start talking about predicting, marriage, children. Sometimes our graduate tutors teach these classes. In fact, I've taught a few of these classes when Joni was on vacation and such. So this is beautiful. How to predict career, chart interpretation. And then there are some really nice examples in here too. And all of this, let me mention one more thing, is based on Joni's book. I'm sorry, I have a lot of little post-its in here, but because I take notes a lot, but this is Joni's book, Eastern Astrology for Western Minds. And this is the course material for this course. And everything's based on that book. So you have the third semester. Fourth semester so you start from very internal foundational aspects, and then you come out, right? You're coming up further and further outside. You're building this big picture. So now in the fourth semester, you have world predictions. And this semester, I personally like a lot because Joni, her large heart, she shares all the transits for the upcoming year with us. It's for the very first time, even before she takes it anywhere else to the outside world, before she writes articles about it. We are the first ones to hear about it. And she has trained one of our graduates, Gautam, to create these transits, and he is instrumental in doing this. And that's what I like about Joni. She brings us into the work of the university. Right here, I am helping with websites and such things, and Gautam's writing about the predictions. We have Elizabeth, who does monthly predictions and who's in the news. She just brings everybody in. She has, if you're interested in contributing, absolutely. Joni loves to, guide you and bring you into this big picture that she has, this amazing platform, right? So this is, you have the fourth semester where she shares all those predictions with us, the transits, and Gautam too, of course. And then you have the fifth semester. This is even more high-level concepts, right? With the Varshafal, the Ashtaka Varga. And then this is where I come in with what Joni inspired me to learn, the Gemini astrology. She said one, I don't remember, I think we were just talking on the phone, and Joni said, Shri, you should, see if you can learn Gemini astrology. You probably will like it. And I went and learned it, and then I loved it. I wrote a book. I created a semester, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But I come in during the fifth semester and teach this class on Gemini astrology. And I'm just humbled and grateful that Joni is able to share her platform with us, because of course, as an astrologer just starting off, you don't have that kind of reach or platform, and she shares it selflessly with everybody. So that's the fifth semester, and then you come to the sixth semester. Now here, this is hardcore, right? By now you know how to make predictions, and this is really a lot of fun. It's almost like a detective work, so we get these charts and we say, okay, can you find the marriage date within 6-month period? Can you find out what disease this person died of? That kind of stuff. It's really hands-on work. Right? It's not just that you're learning the theory and then it's like, okay, go off in the world and do readings. No, right? You have hands-on experience. Let me also add, when you're in the sixth semester, not only when you're in the sixth semester, but from the very first day that you joined, you have a tutor who will help you, stand by your side, answer all your questions, and grade all your tests. When you get to the sixth semester, you do 3 mini readings with that tutor. Okay, this is something we added recently because the students suggested this. Another thing I love about Joni, the way she takes suggestions from people. We have quarterly student meetings at UVA. Every quarter we meet with all the students, and it's recorded for people who can't join. And they come up with these wonderful ideas, like why don't we give us more experience with mini reading, right, Joni?
Yeah, and even when we have the final exam, We started using the other students as the clients that they read for. That was suggested by
Amazing.
the
Yeah.
So
it works so well.
I know it's worked so well. So, we have student meetings, we have tutor meetings, because it's so important when you're running a business of any kind to get feedback and get connected to your people and understand what people want and need. And of course, you guys have come up with some of the most amazing ideas.
Yes.
It's like a joint effort. And one thing I want to say, and I'm going to say this again before we close probably, nothing makes me happier than to see my students shine, because that means I did my job. And so when they go out and they make these wonderful predictions and they start doing their YouTubes and having their business, and they're so good at what they do, nothing makes me happier, because these are like my children. Right? But I just wanted to throw that in.
I still remember the first time I spoke at your conference, Joni. It was my first time ever speaking at a conference, and I was so nervous. And I remember you sitting in the audience beaming with pride, and you were the only person who had that look because nobody else knew me. But that just gave me the strength to go through it. You just have this sense of kind of accomplishment when your students do well. And you feel so good about it. And, you're, like I said, you've always been so giving. But I also wanted to mention, when you get to that final exam, the full reading, we noticed that, students were getting a little nervous the first time they came on. That's the reason why we took one of the student suggestions where they said, hey, why don't you give us a few mini readings before that so we can be prepared for the final reading. So the tutors do 3 mini readings with their students, and that has been working phenomenally. People just love it. They're like, oh, I get to see these charts and I get to have all this practice before I go in front of Joni, right? So that's amazing. So that's basically the entire university. Trust me. A lot of information jam-packed into these semesters. It's not, not only do you have these recorded lessons, you have live webinars with Joni. So with that, let me take this segue into Thinkific, which is the platform that we use, as you can see here. So once you sign up for the university, you get a sign-in information for this particular platform. So depending on which semesters you bought, or if you bought the whole university, you will see all the semesters here. And while we are here, let me show you this particular course that, again, like I said, Joni inspired me to create. And once you become a graduate of the university, you can create your own course and you can put it on this platform, this ready-made platform, which already has I think close to 500 students right now. It's a huge platform from around the world. Where do you get that, right? So this is the course that I had created. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about each semester, or show you what a semester looks like. So let's go into the first semester. And I'll show you what the structure of a semester looks like. This course is so intuitive, so easy to follow. The very first thing you see on the left side right off the bat is the Zoom link. So this is why Joni was saying earlier, if you buy a semester, you have access to the live webinars of only that semester. But if you buy the entire course, then you have access to all the Zoom links. So you can join all the classes. So it's controlled through the Thinkific platform. So you have the Zoom link for the live webinars that Joni does. So on July 6th, when she starts her first class at 9:45 a.m., this is the Zoom link you would go to. And then right after that, here's another example of Joni collaborating with the students and giving them opportunities. We have all of these software-related videos, training videos on how to use Parashara's Light software. We have that discount for students to buy the software, but a lot of students had questions. How do I set it up? How do I have the glyphs show on the chart? Or how do I show the North Indian chart or the South Indian chart? So one of our students, Sandeep, graciously said, I'm going to share my knowledge because, Joni does that all the time and she inspires us to do that. And he said, here, I have created all of these videos. And we put it on the platform so everybody can view these videos. So I'm going to minimize this one so you can see here. All of these tutorial videos, he, bless his heart, he created like 7 of them. So informative, so informative. and you can watch this anytime. You can set up your software watching these videos, and he's amazing at that, at the software. Now I've minimized that particular window. Now, if you come further down, this is where our lessons start. Semester 1, lesson 1. And the first thing that you see is the video, the recorded video of Joni talking about the topic, right? And then right after that, like she said, is the test. Okay, so this is the recorded video that we have here. You can watch that. And then you would take the test. When you take the test, your tutor gets notified. And then they would go in and grade the test. When they grade the test, you get notified by email. So this is beautiful how this platform works. And trust me, this has been, an effort of labor to get to this point, because we've had other platforms in the past that didn't work.
Yeah. Yes.
It was not easy to get here, but I think this platform works tremendously well. Mm-hmm. So the same thing, right? Once you finish that assignment, you get graded. And like Joni said, and I absolutely agree with her, we don't have any like number grades or A's or B's or C's or anything like that. Okay. The tutor will just let you know, hey, you did a great job. Here are a few things that you can maybe take a look at again, and email me those answers. And you can have as many attempts at it as possible. And the whole idea is we want you to learn and not really get attached to, your score or your grade or anything like that. We don't want that. Okay. So you can learn and you can continue to give the improvements until you pass the test. And the same thing, after that, you go to semester 1, lesson 2, lesson 3.
And by the way, semester 1 first video is free for everyone to watch if you go onto the university website. So you'll get a free lesson where you can get a feel of what you're going to be looking at, all these different lessons. So that's free. And one more thing, and I don't want to forget to tell everybody that all of the live webinars that we do are all recorded for you to watch later. And there are years of them still on there. If you want to go back to 2018's first semester class, you can watch them.
Right
They're
here.
all recorded there in semester 1.
Right here, yeah, you have videos and videos and videos. So you have class 1, 2, 3, and 4, some 5 or 6 classes. You can see the year that it was taught in. All of these are recorded and here for you to watch. This is exactly the reason why Joni was saying earlier that, of course, you can always join with this amazing group that's starting on July 6th, but this university is something you can join at any time too, because you have these recordings here. You have all the videos that you want to watch, all the live webinars. And sometimes, what I typically have seen students do is when they're traveling and, when you're sitting on a plane or something, they download one of these on the phone and then they're watching it on the phone, because each of these has different material, because she talks about current events. So it's just so amazing to watch these. So all of these are here for you. So many videos. And then when you get to the end of each semester, we have this little portion here, which one of the tutors, graduates, Elizabeth, this was her suggestion to add a next step here, because students always have the question, now where do I go from here, right? So then she said, okay, why don't we add a little link here to tell them where the next semester is. So you can always click here and buy that as well. So that's how this whole course is laid out, and I hope that makes it very clear. Did I miss anything, Joni?
I don't think so. I just wanted them to know that they can watch all the year's recordings of all of our live classes as well. And of course, if the class is not in a good time for you, you can watch it later on that evening or the next day, because they're all recorded. You don't miss anything. So yeah.
And this is what Joni was referring to on University of Vedic Astrology.com. On the home page, scroll all the way to the bottom and you will see this free class. This is exactly what this class here is. So the very first class is free. If you want to watch and see how much information it has, it's amazing the amount of information in this class. So that's that. And one more thing that I want to really quickly touch on is, the benefits you get from graduating from this university, because I have personally experienced it. Let me stop sharing here. Okay. So, like I said, like-minded people, lifelong access to everything. It's very hard to find that anywhere else. The Telegram group. I have to tell you guys, sometimes I get so busy, I don't get to go on there a lot in a day, but whenever I go there, I see everybody animatedly, excitedly talking about their charts, sharing information with each other. When the whole death versus hurt trial was going on, that was being analyzed on Telegram. It's just so amazing that this community came together so quickly, and they're all supporting each other. Like if somebody's having difficulty with a certain test, they come on Telegram and they're like, guys, I'm still struggling to get through this, and everybody helps them. It's amazing how that happens. So that's one thing. And then also, once you graduate, you get to be a part of the research group. Joni has given all the students, full freedom, creative freedom to research any topic that they want to research. And they get to write articles about it. So when this first issue of the magazine comes out next week, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights, you will see a whole section in there with research articles from our students. And you have to remember, at one point, all these students were exactly like you. They had no idea what Vedic astrology was, or maybe they had some background. I came from a family that had some background, but I worked in corporate and I was far removed from astrology when I met Joni. Trust me, So when you read these articles, you will see how far they have come, and you can be there too. You can write articles and teach and create your own platform, create your own course on this platform. It's amazing. And then Joni also allows us to have our presence on the university website and do readings through there. Let me just share my screen and show you that. It's something that I forgot to show. If you go to the university website and you go all the way up to the top, book a reading with UVA graduates. Okay, so you can go here, and once you're a graduate, you get to pick readings. You can pick any of these graduates that have come out of the university. You see how many of them are set up here. All of these guys have graduated from the university, and you can then take an appointment with them. And this is again, Joni sharing her platform with us. So this is amazing. So I thought you should see this too, just to see the possibilities of this particular decision. It's life-changing, So anything else, Joni, that we should be talking about? I think I've covered everything from a student standpoint and a graduate standpoint.
Thank you. Yes. Well, I have to say this. I'm so proud of you. You have done such an amazing job. And for all of you out there, I couldn't do all this without Shri. She helps me with everything, with the technical stuff. And I mean, everything. She is there. She is the best, the most loyal and the best friend and astrologer. I mean, she, I'm so happy to set you up in business and to push you out and let you fly and spread your wings, because you're doing amazing. You are, you're just beyond what I could envision you could have become.
Thank you, Joni.
More than that. And I think we've kind of built this together nowadays. It's like I couldn't do what I've done without all of my students and my clients that have helped me in my entire career as an astrologer. So this is sort of like this whole university is kind of like the icing on the cake of what I've come to put out there. And I tell all my students, I say, I can't do this forever. So I'm going to be passing this all on to you guys. So that's why I'm building this, and it's going to continue to grow and around the world. And we're going to start having more classes that are not a part of UVA. So in other words, you don't have to take the whole 6 semesters in order to take Shri's class. That's a class that is standalone, is what I call it. And we're going to start having a lot more standalone classes. And the graduates, I encourage them to have their standalone classes. So in other words, people that are experienced in astrology that might want to learn more about J-mini astrology, they would take Shree's class without taking all the university classes.
Yeah.
And we're going to have many more of those. I have some coming up that are going to be standalone on the university coming out before the end of this
year.
year.
And I noticed, Joni, on that point, I noticed last time when I did the Germany course and I was teaching the course, I think around 50% of the people who signed up were not UVA students. They were brand new from outside. And a couple of them after the Germany course signed up for the UVA because they love the platform and how easy it is to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is standalone. So, I think of those as electives, that you can take on the side, like those standalone courses. So again, Joni, we are only a reflection of who you are. You've taught us everything that we know, at least from my perspective, I can tell you that for a fact. And trust me, when I started this course, I had no idea that I would be doing reading someday. It started off as a hobby. I was like, I just want to get to the bottom of this. How do people do this? How did Joni predict everything about me? That is all I intended. But it was so interesting, the course, I could not let it go. That's how everybody, and I know every one of you will feel like that when you start this. And then one day you will be, sitting here with your own website doing readings, and it's an amazing career. Let me just tell you that. Because this is not one of those jobs where you need to have a brick and mortar establishment, you need to have all those employees, and this is so easy to do from home. It's an amazing career, and above all, you can help a lot of people. Yes. And I know many of you, especially with the Aquarius energies around, of community and groups and coming together and humanitarian causes and such things. I know a lot of you are like, how can I help? And this is one of the main ways you can help people, because trust me, when somebody comes to an astrologer for a reading, they're looking for hope. And when you look at their chart and you tell them, and that brings me to one of the important lessons Joni teaches in the 6th semester, counseling. Because she always says, it's not just about knowing astrology, it's about how you tell your client these things and how you give them hope, because that's what is most important. The planets don't stand still in the sky. They are constantly moving. Things are constantly changing. But when we are in a dark time, we don't see an end to it. And that's when we go to an astrologer. And when my clients come to me looking for hope, I use what Joni has taught me. And they feel good, they feel better. Okay, I see an end to this. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they feel much better, because it really does work that way. And then another thing that Joni teaches also is karmic and self-realization. She talks about spirituality. She talks about how the nodes are the karmic axis, because that's another thing people want to know. Why is this happening in my life? Well, here you go. This is something that you've brought over here. This is your past life. This is something that you're here to learn, to evolve, to grow. And this is how all the graduates who are coming out of the university, they talk exactly like this. They teach exactly like this. They do readings exactly like this, because we all learned from the best. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. So thank you, Joni, for everything and the opportunities.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. I am ever so grateful for you and everything you've done, and all of, like I said, all of my students. So if there's something that we possibly missed that you're thinking you need to know about the university, we're going to have a live webinar coming up here. When is it, Shree? Let everyone know. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday at 12 p.m. Central Time.
Yes,
okay.
And it is live, so you can talk to both of us. Ask us any questions that you want concerning the university, and we're going to give our predictions for what's going to be coming up in the world, because this is the most pivotal time, I think, ever astrologically. Yes. So we've got Shree and I are going to tell you what we think the planets are trying to tell us, and most of all, what we can do about it. And also in there, we want to include a question and answer about UVA, because we're live and people can ask us right then and there. So that's what we got.
Exciting predictions for the month of July. We'll talk about that. Exciting. I mean, I'm telling you, Joni, I've not seen a month like this where it is so, distinct. The first 2 weeks and the last 2 weeks, so far apart. You know, it's amazing. So we'll be talking about that on Saturday, giving you our predictions for July and answering any questions you may have about the university, about the magazine, about anything that you want to ask about.
Yes, yes, exactly. So I think we've covered it all, right, Sri?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you Saturday. Thank you.